talking about collinear and coplanar. So, we talked about our geometric constructions. Our most basic geometric construction is this. Point. This is point A. Alright, a point can be anything in any plane, or it can be any spot in any amount of space. Alright, it can have any size, it can have any width, but it represents one single place in everything. Alright? We also talked about that once we have more than one point, through those 2 points is created a line, because a line is a collection of points that goes in both directions indefinitely. Now, you can't have one point make up a line. A line must consist of 2 or more points. Now, if we have a line, and we will call this line L. This is going to be line L. It's noted with a cursive lowercase l. Alright? If we have line L, we have what is called collinear points. Alright? What a collinear point is, it is 2 or more points that lie on the same line. Alright? And this is collinear. Collinear is 2 or more points that lie on the same line. So for example, point A here resides on line L. Point P also resides on line L. That would mean that point A and P are collinear. Alright? But we can also have a line and have a point that is not on that line. Alright, let's call this point X. This point does not lie on this line. Alright? So what we would say is that point X is not collinear. So if we were asked, true or false, point A and point P and point X are collinear points, this would be a false statement. Now, only one single line can lay between 2 points. So we couldn't have line L go through P and have line B. Alright? We couldn't have line L and line B because only one line can go through 2 single points. Alright? The next thing I want to talk about is what we would call coplanar. Now, a plane is an expanding mass. It's an area that is always expanding, usually represented by a rectangle. Alright, usually represented by a rectangle. Alright, it expands indefinitely in all directions. Alright, so this is a 2-dimensional plane. It only consists of 1 point thick, but it expands in all points in all directions. Alright, these are denoted by an uppercase cursive letter. Alright, this is plane M. Alright, so on a plane, we can have all sorts of geometric constructions. We can have a point on our plane. We can have a line that goes through our plane, line L. We can have a shape on our plane. We can have a shape on our plane made of line segments. Alright? But the one important thing that we need to know about a plane is this. If 2 points make a line, point A and point P, if 2 points make a line, it requires 3 points at least to make a plane, because we can see that we now have an area that will expand in all directions. All right? So, to make a plane, we must have at least 3 points. Now, these 3 points, because they lie on the same plane, would be called coplanar. All right? It doesn't have to be 3, but these 3 are. But this would be 2 or more points that lie on the same plane. All right, so we have line L here, we have line M there, we have line P there. All right, and this would be plane R. All right, so again, we have A, P, and B. These points would be called coplanar because they all lie on plane R. Point X lies on plane R. But point Y does not. All right? We can see that point Y does not. All right? Just with our current construction. Obviously, if it's expanding, then this would include Y, but we also cannot draw depth with a two-dimensional plane here. So we would say that point Y is not on this plane. So points A, P, and B are coplanar. Point Y is not. All right, so that's collinear and coplanar. When we talk next, we will be talking about finding collinear and coplanar points on a multiple plane system. Thank you. The last thing that we need to talk about coplanar is this. Collinear and coplanar points, when we are constructing a plane, we just said that we must have 3 points at least to create a plane. We have a line going here, here, and here. Okay? So this was point A, P, and B. Alright, so those 3 were coplanar. What we need to also understand about collinear and coplanar is this, however, that although we do need 3 points to create a plane, that these 3 points, A, P, and B, cannot be linear, collinear points, because 3 collinear points only create a line. All right, so when you are constructing a plane or you're naming coplanar parts, all right, you have to understand that for that plane to exist, it must be at least 3 non-collinear. And if collinear means points that lie on the same line, non-collinear would mean points that do not lay on the same line. So, just for clarification there, in case you were wondering, are collinear points, 3 collinear points cannot make a plane. All right, thank you. All right, that's good.